The other thing in this game, something weird usually happens right off the bat.
Boniol kicks it off. And back deep is Dexter Carter at the goal line. Special teams down in a hurry, do a good job. And Steve Young and the 49er offensive unit will take over at their own 20. Steve Young, back from the physical ailments that have bothered him. He seems to be close to 100%. This the offensive line. Harris Barton not starting at right tackle. Frank Pollock in his place. Dahlman, Sapolo, Brown, and Wallace. Bill Bates, who had his right hand in a cast before this game began, is the injured Cowboy.
Bill Bates, one of the best special teams players that's ever played in this game. You look at him, 14 years he's been doing this. An amazing guy. You know, never been one of the fastest guys in football or one of the biggest or strongest, but always seems to be the first guy down there. Watch right there on the 20-yard line. Number 40 right there as he's coming in. You just see, he just made
the first guy to hit the wedge.
Yeah, and he just made the hit and just went down right there. But you see his head right there. You see he led with his head, and it looked like it was the contact that he made when he made that tackle. In leading with his head, it looked like he led with his head and had his head down.
It wrenched his neck, it looks like.
Yeah, there it is right there.
Bates still down. The 49ers will have the ball when we come back at their own 20.
Here he is. We'll watch that whole thing again, Pat. There's Bill Bates right there. And you're going to see him come in, and he leads with his head, and his head is down. You see, and that's where he makes the contact right there.
He and Darren Woodson hit Dexter Carter at about the same time. Bates is up.
I tell you, that's a great picture right there.
Yep. Talk about a tough guy and a great guy. Bill Bates.
We saw a tough guy and a great guy win a big fight last night, didn't we? Evander Holyfield.
Wow.
I tell you, Bill Bates and Evander Holyfield remind me a lot of each other. Those great big old hearts.
And this game has some of the same atmosphere that was present at the heavyweight fight. Here's Young. Delayed handoff to Terry Kirby. Just a couple. The backs and receivers for the 49ers. Terry Kirby, William Floyd back at fullback, Terrell Owens, Jerry Rice, the incomparable one, and Brent Jones back at tight end. 2nd and 8.
You know, there was all the talk about whether Deion Sanders would get on Jerry Rice or play Jerry Rice or not. He is not. Deion Sanders is playing on the right side against whoever comes out on that side. 3-man right in the slot.
3-man line for Dallas. William Floyd hammers for a good gain and a 49er first down. Roger Harper made the stop. Let's look at the Dallas defense. And it'll change from time to time, down to down. Harper in place of Haley, who didn't make the trip. Lett, Hennings, and Tolbert. 2 linebackers, Fred Strickland and Darren Smith. And 5 defensive backs, Sanders, Woodson, Brock Marion, Teague, and Kevin Smith.
And now Broderick Thomas is in there as a rush defensive lineman.
Young back to throw, chased by Lett. Pass is out to Jerry Rice. Rice broke 1 tackle. Couldn't get away from the rest of them, but still got positive yards.
And that's the way they're going to play Jerry Rice. You know, there was talk about maybe Deion Sanders will play him. It's not. The guy that's playing him is Darren Woodson. And you're going to see Jerry Rice is right here. Here's Darren Woodson here. He's playing a weak side linebacker position. So instead of having a linebacker on him now, they got a strong safety in Darren Woodson. Darren Woodson has pretty good coverage, but misses the tackle.
Out to knock him out of bounds, Teague. 2nd and 6. Rice got 4, but he could have lost yardage. Here's Steve Young to William Floyd, and Floyd gets close to the 40. Picked up about 4. Brock Marion made the stop. Harris Barton, as I mentioned, not starting. Pollock in his place.
Yeah, we talked to Harris Barton yesterday, and they had the 49ers had a light workout down in Santa Clara, and Harris Barton was there, practiced with the team yesterday. I talked to him after practice, and he said he was going to start, and then this morning they told us he was deactivated.
3rd and 1. Young. He'll get the first down. He always is very aware of where those sticks are, where the markers are for the first down. The word, by the way, John, on Bill Bates is that he got a concussion on that opening kickoff and will not return. We will see.
You talk about concussions. Remember, it was just a few weeks ago that Steve Young had a concussion.
Yeah.
He said he played last week against the New Orleans Saints. It was still a little fuzzy. He said this week he's feeling better than he has for the last month and a half.
Rice comes in motion. Young gives to Terry Kirby, who doesn't make it back to the line of scrimmage. And right now, for a McDonald's game break, let's return to James Brown at our Fox Television Center.
Yeah, this is what it looked like as Philly was trying to tie it up against Buffalo with 32 seconds left on 4th down. Bruce Smith, money sack, 5th sack of the day for Buffalo, and Buffalo up in the Eagles by 7. Back to San Fran, Pat and John.
And that game, certainly, that Buffalo victory over Philadelphia tightens things up in the NFC East. Young back to throw. Screen pass call, and it was a perfect time to call it. Floyd slipped down as he got the first down yardage and moved into Dallas territory.
Well, he had his big right guard, Chris Dahlman, number 67, out in front. Chris Dahlman makes a real good block on the screen. You're going to watch Chris Dahlman is right here. Floyd's going to get the screen pass. You see, you let the rush come, and then here's William Floyd here. He sets it up, waits, gets behind here. Now watch 67. He's pointing, and then whap, he takes his guy down right there. And just as he blocked his guy, Brock Marion, William Floyd fell down himself.
Anthony Lynn has replaced William Floyd. And Young is back to throw. Going deep. Incomplete. Jerry Rice, the intended receiver, broken up by Deion Sanders. Like to welcome those of you who watched St. Louis destroy Atlanta to 3Com Park in San Francisco, where there is no score. The 49ers got the opening kickoff. They still have the ball. Now they've moved it into Dallas territory. 2nd and 10. Young to William Floyd. Floyd near another 49er first down. Stopped by Brock Marion.
Yeah, we talked earlier, Pat, how the 49ers had an offensive-only meeting this week, and it seems to work because they're having a great first drive here. They're getting different guys running here. They just get good blocking. In fact, they knocked all the Cowboys down. And the only guy left out there is William Floyd, but just watch him. First of all, they get a block here. Brent Jones knocks his guy down. They get another knockdown there. They knock down all the Cowboys except Brock Marion.
They got Tolbert down. Brent Jones got a good block. 10th play of this drive coming up. That's Jones on the move. Young. Pass complete to Terrell Owens, the rookie wide receiver. Big wide receiver.
Yeah, I think he's really going to be a good one. I mean, he's like 6'2" and 215 pounds, has the size of a Jerry Rice. And I remember when we went up to training camp.
Yep.
Remember this year we did a preseason game with the 49ers, and I was looking at this guy, Terrell Owens, and I said, geez, he reminds me of Jerry Rice. I mean, he looks like the real thing. And I thought, and I said at that time, this guy's going to be a starter over J.J. Stokes one of these days.
We were asking that day, who is this guy?
But you could tell the way he ran Patterson caught that he's going to be the real thing.
Young to Jerry Rice. Knocked out of bounds by Kevin Smith. Rice has caught passes now in 169 straight games.
And here's Jerry Rice right here on Kevin Smith. You see, now they did flip-flop their corners. They brought Kevin Smith over to cover Jerry Rice in the slot, but he just couldn't do it.
He doesn't like it over there.
I don't think that there's anyone, though, that can cover Jerry Rice man on man. I think if you get in that matchup, Jerry Rice is going to win it 9 out of 10 times.
That's another 49er first down.
The other thing, the 49ers on this drive are getting good pass protection. Now they're inside the 20, the area we were talking about.
Young is 4 out of 5. He gives to William Floyd. They block it well, and again Floyd puts his head down and hammers down to the 11. Stopped by Woodson. Red zone offense.
Yeah, this is the red zone is inside the 20. And if you look at this season, they're 21st in the NFL, only 39.5. Last season, they were 56.7, and they were 3rd in the NFL. And, you know, generally, the 49er offense has not really been hitting on all cylinders. Specifically, it's in this area where they're having trouble.
That could be hit quickly by Hennings. Maybe he got a yard.
You know, and one of the reasons that they've been having trouble here is they've really played. Steve Young has played as starting quarterback and been hurt. And Elvis Grbac had played, and he's been hurt. Jeff Brom has started at quarterback. And inside the red zone, their best runner, I've always felt for the last 5 years, is Steve Young. And so, when he had that groin injury, you know, they took away that threat.
That seems to be a lot better. This is the 14th play of this drive now. Young, if he's trapped, he'll take off. This one is batted down by Leon Lett. And this is what the 49ers talked about not doing, having to settle for 3, but 3 is better than nothing.
That's what Steve Young said. He said, this is a frustrating thing. He said, we can move the ball up and down the field. We can get down there, but we just can't get the ball in the end zone for touchdowns. And he said, and we don't want to settle for 3s today.
Jeff Wilkins will try from 28 yards. Elvis Grbac holding. Wilkins. And the 49ers take the opening kickoff, drive the length of the field, get 3 points. And that, as surprisingly as it sounds, is not what they were looking for.
Yeah, but the Cowboys really didn't control Jerry Rice either, and I think that's what they were looking for on defense. They tried different ways. We know they're playing 5 defensive backs. Darren Woodson was on him, and he beat Darren Woodson. Darren Woodson missed a tackle. And then they brought Kevin Smith over. He was on him. Jerry Rice beat him. So they're mixing it up on defense, but I don't know that they have yet to come up with the answer.
49ers, by the way, have now scored in 300 straight games. Look at the turnovers. In the last 3 games, Dallas turned it over 12 times. San Francisco once. In the previous 3, all won by the Cowboys. It was 1 Cowboy turnover, 7 for the 49ers. So that's been pretty much, if you're looking for a secret, a reason, whatever you're looking for, that's it. Turnovers.
Yeah, that's been, you know, and I think anytime you get 2 teams that are well matched or closely matched, that's going to be true. That a turnover against or with is going to turn it around.
And the Cowboys have, of course, this 10th game jinx.
Yeah, what is that all about anyway? They've lost the 10th game of the season for 10 straight years, and this is the 10th game of the Cowboys season.
Right.
Where'd that one come from? Woo.
Some statistic enthusiast came up with that one. That's Herschel Walker. Walker tries to get out of the grass. Gets up to about the 23, where the Cowboys will take over. Frankie Smith brought him down. The Cowboy offense led by number 8, Troy Aikman. In front of him, that veteran offensive line, Chouiney, Newton, Donaldson, Allen, and Williams. Emmitt Smith and Darrell Johnston, the 2 runners. Deion Sanders and Michael Irvin wide, and Eric Bjornson will start at tight end. They're not sure how long he can last.
Well, Barry Switzer was saying last night that he just hopes to get 1/2 out of Bjornson.
Darrell Johnston split wide to the left. Now he starts in motion. And Aikman back to throw it. Incomplete. Michael Irvin, the intended receiver. I think he slipped. Let's look at the 49er defense. The front four, they're all playing well. Dolman and Barker, the defensive ends, Stubblefield and Young inside. Plummer, Norton, and Lee Woodall, the Holyfield look-alike. Marquez Pope, Tyrone Drakeford, the cornerbacks. Hanks and McDonald, the two safeties. This is a good, solid defensive unit.
And the strength of it are those two defensive tackles. And the Cowboys have always had trouble with those two guys.
Bjornson limps in motion. Eric Williams, I think, jumped early.
I think Eric Williams did jump because Roy Barker across from him just put his hand on Williams's head when he moved to touch him to make sure the official saw it.
Ball start.
Hand
Prior
tap.
to the snap. Offense, number 79. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Eric Williams.
And there's Eric Williams there, and watch as he moves here. You see, he moves right there, and then Roy Barker comes across and touches him just to make sure the official saw that Eric Williams moved. Eric Williams has a problem with that.
2nd and 15. He certainly has in recent weeks. Aikman to Emmitt Smith. Stopped at the line of scrimmage. To make it 3rd and 15, and on the far side of the field, a wrestling match breaks out, and a flag comes down.
That has to be out there, where Drakeford was. Drakeford's out there man-to-man on Michael Irvin. And again, the ball was run away from him. And they're calling it on Drakeford right there. You see, that's one of those battles that I'm not going to be intimidated. You're not going to intimidate me. You know, the word is you got to be physical on Michael Irvin because he's going to be physical. And they were both doing that, but they called it on Tyrone Drakeford.
Had each other by the face cage.
In fact, I don't think they did call it on Drakeford. I think they called it on Michael Irvin.
Called it on both of them. So it's 3rd down. Third and 15. Here's Aikman back to throw it. Has time and goes deep. Incomplete. Michael Irvin slipped down in front of Drakeford. Steve Israel, I beg your pardon, was out covering Irvin that time. Yeah, I said it was a fast track when we began, but it looks like as they dig in, a lot of people are slipping.
Yeah, it's always going to be wet out here. You know, no matter how it looks or how it feels before the game, it's always going to be wet. The 49ers then were in nickel, so a nickel, Drakeford comes in and takes the slot, and Steve Israel comes in and plays the outside guy. And the first thing Michael Irvin's going to go over there to do is change those cleats and get some longer cleats.
John Jett back to punt it. Dexter Carter deep for the 49ers. Dexter Carter slips past Schwantz, but Schwantz hangs on. Boy, what a job he's done on special teams. 54-yard punt, 5-yard return. Good coverage by Jim Schwantz.
Yeah, this is the first adjustment you make when you slip, is your cleats are too short. So what they can do is they can take off those short cleats and put on a longer cleat. And then you keep putting on longer and longer cleats until you don't slip anymore. But that's one of the reasons that I always like to go in the day before the game, practice at the field where we were going to play so that the guys could get all that done on Saturday and not have to do it during the game.
Like a pit stop in a race. Changing treads. 1st and 10 San Francisco. Rice was the man in motion. This is Terry Kirby. Kirby around the corner, knocked out of bounds after he picked up about 6 by George Teague. The 49ers are doing a good job blocking for the run.
Yeah, and they're doing a good job getting to the outside, because I think one thing, anytime you see 5 defensive backs, the first thing you want to do is check to see if they can stop the run. Now, here's what they're doing. See, they're getting Tolbert blocked there. The strong side linebacker there that got caught up in the wash was Darren Woodson. So the first thing when you see nickel as a base defense is run at it to see if the nickel can stop the run.
2 tight ends, 2nd and short. William Floyd will have the first down and more. Floyd surges outside the 45, stopped again by George Teague, who was making a lot of tackles.
And what they're doing is they're taking advantage of Darren Woodson. Darren Woodson is playing that weak side linebacker, so they're going to run right at him. He's number 28. So they're running right at him, and you'll see him here, number 28. They just catch him up in things, and Floyd just goes right to the outside, and Teague, the safety, has to come up to make the play.
Woodson goes out. Terry Kirby is split wide to the left up the top of the picture. Young back to throw it. Strickland comes. Here's Young who pulled it down. Pump fake. That was a real pump fake. Now Steve Young throws it back across the field. Pass complete to Terry Kirby. Incomplete.
I'll tell you, Brock Marion had great coverage on Jerry Rice, because that first pump, he was trying to throw down the right side to Jerry Rice, and Brock Marion was right there with him. If he would have thrown that, it probably would have been an interception.
Steve Young bothered by a groin injury throughout the first part of the season, then the concussion that you talked about. But today he seems to be pretty mobile. Jerry Rice over on the sideline. Brent Jones flank left, 2 tight ends set up. Kirby the ball carrier. Right now again, let's return to James Brown at our Fox Television Center.
Pat, this was a last gasp effort on the part of the Cardinals. Boomer looking, connects with Anthony Edwards to tie it up in Washington with 25 seconds left. Washington looking to get it back. Back to Pat and John.
A lot of things fit in that category of who would have thought this weekend. 4 minutes, 35 seconds left to play in the first quarter as Young fades to throw it. Iwazoki. Was it complete? Not complete.
It was complete.
Yes, it was.
First down. It was a first down. He's a big wide receiver, and again, he's just going to get to the inside. He comes up here, right into it, and Steve Young is going to hit him right there in the slot. You see, you get one-on-one, then you get that inside. Right now, you got the movement. All you have to do is put the ball down where only your guy can catch it.
I was so proud of myself for pronouncing his name. I wasn't sure he caught it.
No, he caught it for a first down.
The pass caught by Jerry Rice. I can pronounce that name.
Well, you know, we've seen Jerry Rice line up in the left. We've seen him line up in the slot. Now he's down here on the right, and he's playing against Kevin Smith. Again, he starts to the inside, gets Kevin Smith turned that way, gets his shoulders turned that way. Then once those shoulders turn, Jerry Rice goes right to the outside, and Steve Young hits him with a perfect pass.
That's a good pattern run by Jerry Rice.
But he waited until he got Kevin Smith's shoulders turned, then he made his out move.
First and 10, San Francisco. Dallas, no yards. The 49ers, 110. Going good, touchdown. Iwazoki. From Steve Young. Iwazoki, whatever, it's a touchdown.
It was Iwazoki, but he was on Kevin Smith again. And Steve Young throws him a post. Here's Iwazoki right here. Here's Kevin Smith playing a man-to-man. Kevin Smith falls down right there. See him? He falls down right there just as the ball is thrown, and Steve Young makes a perfect pass.
The extra point is good by Wilkins. It's 10-0, 49ers.
Hey, the 49ers have a great game plan today. They had that meeting on Monday, the offense with Bill Walsh. Mark Trestman, puts in the offensive game plan. He's the offensive coordinator, and he has a good one today. Maximum protection. You see that? They keep both backs in the block. Iwazoki runs a post. Kevin Smith, one of their best cover guys, one of the best cover guys in the league, is on a man-to-man, falls down just before the ball gets there.
Iwazoki's first NFL touchdown.
And here's Mark Trestman there, the offensive coordinator of the 49ers, and there's been a lot of talk about him and what his problems were. And here's Bill Walsh, of course, the ex-coach of the 49ers, who was in that players-only meeting.
Yep, the only coach. the consultant.
And he thought that some good came out of it. Steve Young said, I don't know, we're going to get more detail, but as Steve Young said yesterday, how more is more. Whatever it is, it's 10-0.
And a very concerned Barry Switzer. He has never beaten San Francisco.
And I think that in this chess match, he's losing. I mean, the Cowboys had a simple defense for years, and everyone kind of knew what to do against it. So this year, they don't have a simple defense. They're showing a 4-man line, 3-man line, 3 linebackers, 2 linebackers, 5 defensive backs. And whatever they put in there, the 49ers are cutting up today.
Short kick is going to be handled by Walker at about the 15. Last couple of weeks, he's broken some long kickoff returns, but it's not there today. Junior Bryant, the first man down.
And now I think the Cowboys have to get something going. And it was interesting yesterday when we were talking to Barry Switzer. He said that he knows that to beat the 49ers, he needs big plays. And he said you don't get big plays in the running game. He said you get big plays in the passing game. He said, so I told Ernie Zampese, this is Barry Switzer's man, he said, I told Ernie Zampese, throw the ball. I don't care if we throw it 50 times, but the only way we can get big plays is throwing it.
Aikman to throw. Has time, gets it out to Emmitt Smith, and there's nothing there. The 49ers played it well. That was even a lateral. Ken Norton was the first there, the former Cowboy.
Well, he's trying to get the ball. He was trying to get the ball deep to Michael Irvin. And there was good coverage on Michael Irvin. Marquez Pope was with him, and then Merton Hanks came over. So they had him doubled. Then when he couldn't go there, then he had to come off that, and he went to his outlet valve in Emmitt Smith.
Lost yardage on that outlet valve pass, 2nd and 15. Bjornson, the man in motion. Aikman to Emmitt Smith. Smith gets 3. Dolman made the stop.
There's a guy who's playing well for the 49ers, Chris Dolman. He gives them, they were flip-flopping their ends. They were having him play weak side the whole time, and then Barker would play strong side, so they'd have to go right and left. And then he had a meeting with George Seifert, and he said that what he'd like to do is just stay over here on the right like he is here at that position and let Barker play left. And since then, they have both been NFC Defensive Player of the Week.
Dolman went through 2 blockers. Flag on the play. Aikman to throw it. Pulls it down, throws out of bounds. Intended for Deion Sanders.
I tell you, Aikman doesn't feel comfortable with this defense. I mean, he doesn't like what is here. He hasn't seen anything he likes yet.
Dick Hantack.
Defense in the neutral zone at the snap. Number 97, 5-yard penalty. Repeat, 3rd down.
The 49ers took the opening kickoff. Got a field goal. Held the Cowboys. The Cowboys could do nothing. And the 49ers scored. A touchdown pass from Young to Uwazaki. Here's Aikman back to throw. I'd like to welcome those of you who are watching Green Bay and Kansas City. Kansas City beating Green Bay 27-20. Welcome to 3Com Park in San Francisco, where the 49ers lead the Cowboys 10-0. And the Cowboys go 3 and out one more time.
And the Cowboys are starting to look frustrated. I mean, they're not even off the field yet. They're just walking around out here. In the pregame warm-up, they looked like that. I said I don't know who's going to win this game, but the 49ers look a lot more ready to play than the Cowboys do from up here, and they still do.
Good kick by John Jett. Chases Dexter Carter down to the 10. Carter got some room, and he could be gone. John Jett pinned him up on the sideline. Herschel Walker came over to help out, and they finally got him down at the Dallas 40. 54-yard punt. 52-yard return. That's not good. At 3Com Park. A beautiful, beautiful day.
You know, the interesting thing, Pat, the 49ers have had the ball 21 plays, 139 yards. The Cowboys have had 6 plays, and they have no yards.
Young back to throw it. Under pressure and throws it in the direction of Derek Lavelle. Looked like they were trying to set up a screen pass, but even the screen didn't form.
They all fell down.
Yeah.
I mean, they had the screen up there, and everyone fell down. Like that game you used to play as a kid, you know, you'd run and all fall down. They just all ran out there, and they all fell down.
I had forgotten about that game.
Yeah. I mean, you stand up, sit down, or something like that, and then all fall down.
Second and 10. Young gives to William Floyd, who makes it back to the line of scrimmage, and that's all.
See what they're doing is they're really spreading them out. You see, they have the 4 wide receivers, so then this is all you have in a box. Now, the rule has always been, if in this box, if you have 5 guys you run, if you have 6 guys you pass, and if you can see, the Cowboys have 6 guys in that box. The 49ers ran, and that's why the run didn't work.
38.
And that's the end of the first quarter. The 49ers in control so far. They lead the Cowboys 10-0. Park in San Francisco, as you look at the first quarter statistics, and couldn't be much more one-sided than that.
Well, you know, the 49ers have had the ball the whole first quarter to the Cowboys 3 minutes, so you can see that. But not only that, as Steve Young was saying yesterday, they've done something with it. I mean, they put up 10 points with that time of possession.
Young chased and down, lost the ball. And the Cowboys think they have it. At least their bench does. Shante Carver pointing in that direction. And they do. Young's fumble. He was hit by Leon Lett. Leon Lett came up with the recovery as well. And the Cowboy offensive unit comes on in the best shape they've been so far, trailing 10-0.
Once you have tasted flight, you'll forever walk the earth with your eyes turned skyward. For there you have been. And there you will always long to return.
First and 10 at their own 41. 49ers leading 10-0. Emmitt Smith. Not much room. The surge took him for about 3.
Yeah, this is really like a 4-man line, because Broderick Thomas today is going to be used as a pass rusher, not a linebacker. That time he was the pass rusher, the first guy to get to Steve Young, knocked the ball out of there. Then, as you see, big Leon Lett recovered it.
Second down. About 7. Aikman to Emmitt Smith, who breaks one tackle and gets into the 49ers secondary for a moment. A pickup of about 5 right now for a McDonald's game break. Let's return to James Brown at our Fox Television Center.
Pat, the Cardinals with a chance to upset the Redskins. Kevin Butler, 32-yard field goal in OT. Off to the left. Kevin Butler said he had only been practicing field goals every now and then. Boy, that showed right there. Back to Pat and John.
Offense, number 73.
Here at 3Com Park, it's 10-0.
Second down.
Larry Allen called for holding, and it pushes the Cowboys back 10.
Well, Larry Allen has his hands full today. He's playing against Bryant Young. 97 of the 49ers is one of the best tackles in the league. And what Bryant Young does is he'll use those sideways. I mean, he'll line up cockeyed. He'll hit a gap sideways. He'll do all those things to you. And sometimes he gets in a position that you darn near have to hold him.
He just slides right by you if you don't.
And that's what he started to do on that last play.
Aikman. 49ers blitzed. He hits Bjornson. Only picked up about 4 yards.
And I think that's the problem with this Cowboy offense. And, Barry Switzer can say we've got to pass it 50 yards, but you got to get it down the field. And I think you can't be throwing those short ones out there to Bjornson. I don't think you can be throwing passes for losses to Emmitt Smith. I don't think you can be throwing to Moose Johnston. I think eventually you're going to have to get the ball to your wide receivers, and they haven't been able to do that.
Deion Sanders goes wide left. Michael Irvin comes wide right. Kelvin Martin in the slot to the right. Flags on the play. I think Eric Williams again moved backward too soon.
And Chris Dolman ran right by Mark Tuinay.
Prior to the snap, offense, number 79, 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
Tell you, that has to be killing a coach. Here's again Eric Williams. Again, he's not in the 3-point stance. He's all ready to pass protect, but just see him. He starts to lean back. Roy Barker starts pointing to him again, and I don't know. Roy Barker's not a real speed guy or a real fast guy. I don't know that Eric Williams has to get that big a jump on him as he has in his mind that he has to do.
3rd and 17. Aikman to Darrell Johnston. That won't get it done. They picked up about 4 yards maybe, and they'll have to punt again.
And that's the thing. When you have 2 penalties, they had with Larry Allen gets a holding penalty. That's 10 yards. Then Eric Williams jumps offside. That's 15 yards of penalty. And you don't have pass plays that are going to make that up.
Well, Troy Aikman said yesterday, I have to be patient. I have to be patient, not panic, not try to go deep. If we get down, if we get behind, it's pretty tough to do that.
Well, he hasn't completed a pass to a wide receiver today.
Kick comes off the side of his foot. Dexter Carter comes up and fields it at the 21. And this time the coverage is there in a hurry. Randall Godfrey down to make the hit. 42-yard punt, 1 return. Dallas has run 9 plays. The 49ers 24. And look at that time of possession.
And like I said, just before the 49ers fumbled, they've done something. Time of possession is one of those stats that if you don't do something with it, it doesn't mean anything. But the 49ers have the time of possession, and to show for it, they have 10 points.
And they have 1 turnover.
And probably if they didn't have that turnover, they would have had some more points.
2nd and about 11. Rice to the right. Young looking left, hit from behind, and hit hard. Broderick Thomas, I believe.
Yeah, Broderick Thomas, I said earlier, is not playing linebacker today. He's playing defensive end, right and left defensive end. That time he's a left defensive end. He's in there for Tony Tolbert. And you're going to see him. He's at the left defensive end. He's right here. Here's Pollock, who has to block him there. You see Frank Pollock comes back. Broderick Thomas, he tries to cut him. Broderick Thomas just goes right around him. Steve Young didn't see him. And as he turned into him, there was Broderick Thomas. Watch, he turns in, and boom, he's right there in his head. Oof.
Steve Young a little shaky getting up.
I don't know about that. I don't know if Steve Young is a little fuzzy again.
He's back to throw. The Cowboys chasing, and down he goes. Leon Lett and Broderick Thomas converge.
And I don't know that Steve Young didn't get hurt again, because they got him right in the head 2 times in a row. We talked about that earlier, where 2 weeks ago he had a concussion. He said he was still fuzzy last week against the New Orleans Saints, but yesterday he said he felt fine and he thought he was over the hump of both the concussion and the groin pull.
Thompson back to punt. Kelvin Martin will field it for the Cowboys at about the 23-yard line. Cuts it back. Gets to the 40. Derek LaVille down to make the stop.
Broderick Thomas again, and watch his hit right there. Woo!
Jim Schwantz by 2 hits on the last 49er possession. Dallas ball at their own 40, 1st and 10. Aikman gives to Emmitt Smith, and there is nothing there.
Well, there's been nothing there the whole time. The Cowboys haven't made a yard rushing yet. And again, it's those two tackles. They're not getting them blocked. I mean, it's stub of field and it's young. And if you're going to block them, if you're going to run the ball, you got to block those two tackles.
Not many people have been able to do that. Those two guys are tough and dedicated to being the best. 2nd and 10. Bjornson on the move. Aikman a throw. Michael Irvin makes the catch. And Irvin steps out of bounds. The first time the Cowboys have been across the 50-yard line.
It's the first time the Cowboys have thrown the ball or hit to a wide receiver. You see, again, if you're going to run, you got to get these two guys blocked. And if you're going to throw the ball, you got to get them blocked so you can step up. And they do a pretty good job right there. You see, and they let Troy Aikman have plain feet. Here's Michael Irvin down here on Tyrone Drakeford. He just makes an out pattern. Drakeford slips that time on his home field.
1st and 10 Cowboys.
And see, and Michael Irvin has those longer cleats now.
Right. Aikman a throw. Pumps right, throws left. Deion Sanders couldn't come down with it. Had it and lost it. Marquez Pope was the cover man.
Marquez Pope says there's only one way to play this game, and that's to be physical. It doesn't make any difference who the guy is. He said he just wants to attack him. He didn't attack Deion that time. He let him off the line of scrimmage and just ran with him to the outside and waited out there for Deion Sanders to come back, and then jumped up and got that right hand in there and knocked the ball out.
That's a good play.
Marquez Pope was a safety. He was a safety in college and a safety in the pros. He became a corner here, and he made himself a very good corner.
Emmitt Smith gets the carry and gets nothing. Right now, let's return to James Brown at our Fox Television Center.
Pat, a strange one in Washington. Scott Blanton attempting a 38-yard field goal in overtime. This one he nails. Rest indeed, but Scott Galbraith called for holding, move back. It's a 48-yarder by Blanton. He misses it to the left. We're still in OT. Less than 3:20 left. Arizona with the ball. Back to Pat and John.
At 3-Com Park, 3rd and 10 Dallas. 49ers leading 10-0. Aikman incomplete. No flags. Deion Sanders saying, I was held, and it looks like he might have an argument.
Usually on a cross, that's where you can use your speed. It was a Deion Sanders against Tyrone Drakeford. Drakeford was running with him, and you see him on a cross. This is where you can use your speed. And you see the speed to cross right down here in the bottom of the picture. I don't know that Drakeford did hold him. It looked like he made a pretty good play.
Yes, it did after you look at it again.
But Deion should have just kept running on that. You know, once you get man-to-man, you have to run away from man-to-man. You have to come under control against the zone.
Jet back to punt it. Dexter Carter's going to let it bounce. And the Cowboys, it's a touchback. They were standing. Charlie Williams had 1 foot in, 1 foot out. He could have been at the 1 foot line.
Yeah, but he had his left foot on the inside the end zone.
He was straddled the end zone line.
Yeah, watch Charlie Williams. They just activated him today. Now watch where his foot is. You see when he catches the ball, watch that left foot there. The left foot is in the end zone. He's proud of himself for keeping the ball out, but his foot's in the end zone. So the 49ers, instead of getting the ball.
With possession of the ball, touchback. 1st and 10 on the 20-yard line.
I was just going to say, instead of getting the ball at the 1-yard line, the 49ers get it at the 20.
With a little bit of room, they lead Dallas 10-0. 1,000 miles a year. Casillas had Steve Young. He got away from him and Darren Woodson.
You know, the last 3 times that Steve Young has gone back to pass, he hasn't passed the ball, and he's taken a pretty good hit. The first one's going to be Casillas is going to come through there and get him there. And then as he gets out there, he's going to get it right there by Darren Woodson.
And Shante Carver. And again, Steve Young got back to his feet in kind of a shaky way.
Now you can see he's been sacked twice already. He's been hit 8 times.
Young gives to William Floyd, and Floyd trips and slips and falls down after a gain of 1. Tony Casillas again to make the play.
You know, this field is just like it used to be in Oakland. You know, we're right here at sea level. If you look right outside of the stadium is, you know, is the water. So it's at sea level. So this field is always going to be wet, and it's going to be heavy, and it's going to be loose. See, because if you see, here's the water right here, and here's the stadium right here, and somehow this water comes underneath and gets in there to the stadium. And then the guys trip and fall. Both teams do, and they always have to, you know, change the cleats and get longer cleats, but it's always going to be that way. Always has been that way here.
Here's Young to throw it. Incomplete. No flag. Intended for Jerry Rice. Kevin Smith right with him. And the 49ers will have to punt again.
You know, the 49ers really got off to a good start on offense. They were getting the ball to Jerry Rice. They had the running game going. And then it looked like they had this Cowboy defense off balance. Now it looks like the opposite, that the Cowboy defense has kind of figured out what the 49ers are doing, and the 49ers aren't able to do what they're doing.
Deion Sanders back deep to return Tommy Thompson's punt.
That's how you tell them it's a big game. When Deion Sanders is a punt returner, it's a big game in Barry Switzer's mind.
Deion Sanders knocked down after he got back to where he started. Out flies the ball. He just couldn't get anything started. You're so right. When he's back, you know it.
And punt returning. See, the defense is over. The punt return's over. He throws that one off, and now he gets his offensive helmet. So he has one helmet that he wears for defense, one helmet that he wears for offense. But if he punt returns, it's interesting, he uses his defensive helmet.
He goes wide to the left this time. Irvin comes right. 1st and 10, Dallas at their own 28. Aikman will throw it on 1st down. Bjornson makes the reception, gets a 1st down for the Cowboys.
You know, we were talking about the 2 helmets. You see the offensive helmet, it doesn't have the bar. You see, here's the offensive helmet, and it's clear here. The defensive helmet has these 2 extra bars there. See, because he doesn't want those so that he can see out, you know, to catch a ball. See, so defense, if you're looking out like this is what it looks like. And you see the bar. Offense, you see this opening here, and that's where you look to catch passes. So you got your basic defensive helmet, and that's the one that he's had all the way. I mean, he had that in Atlanta. It's the same helmet he had with the 49ers, and he brought here to Dallas. The offensive helmet is a new helmet.
The completion from Aikman to Bjornson was close enough for them to measure. I thought he had the 1st down, and he does.
Yeah, I still think that Steve Young didn't recover from those hits, Pat, and the doctor's there with him, and we see Elvis Grbac is here warming up. And I don't think it was that last one. I think it was a series before when he got those 2 hits in a row.
2 series ago. Right. Steve Young with a towel around his head. Elvis Grbac with a baseball cap on, so we'll have to wait and see.
And again, a concussion is something you don't fool around with, and he just had one 2 weeks ago.
Emmitt Smith breaks into the 49ers secondary. That's the most successful running play so far. 6-yard pickup stopped by Tim McDonald.
Yeah, we were talking about those hits on Steve Young, and here they were. That was the first one. That was Broderick Thomas.
That's the one that did the damage.
And then you look at that second one by Schwantz, and then this was the 3rd one, which was in the next series. But I think it was those first 2, the Broderick Thomas and the Schwantz one, that really got him.
2nd down, Emmitt Smith again. Emmitt gets close to a 1st down. Right now, let's return again to James Brown at our Fox Television Center.
Pat, that strange one in Washington. Take a look at this. 37-yard field goal attempt, overtime by Kevin Butler. What does he do? He misses that one. Offsides on Washington. He gets a chance again, this time from the 32. Finally nails it. Arizona upends Washington by a field goal in OT. Pat and John.
So Arizona wins over Washington, and Buffalo beats Philadelphia. So if the Cowboys can win today, they're back in the NFC East race. Here's Aikman back to throw. Aikman going deep. And Herschel Walker bounce off his chest.
You see who was with him there? Kenny Norton.
Flag on the play. Back
That's going to be against the Cowboys anyway, but it was still great coverage by Ken Norton. They were trying to get that matchup, you know, the old matchup, Herschel Walker, the speed guy on a linebacker. They got it, but Kenny Norton rose to the occasion.
Kenny Norton can run.
Offense, number 61, 10-yard penalty.
Holding
Repeat
call
the down,
against
first
Nate
down.
Newton.
Watch him, here they are. There's Ken Norton, number 51, running with Herschel Walker, and he just waited. And what a guy does is he'll look in the receiver's eyes. And when the receiver looks up, he looks up. And the receiver looks down to bring the ball in is when he slaps with that hand in there.
First and 20. Aikman a throw. His protection has gotten better. He gets it to Michael Irvin. And we like to welcome those of you who watched Arizona finally defeat Washington 37-34. Welcome to 3Com Park. Philadelphia lost. Washington lost. Dallas is 5-4. They're losing 10-0 here at 3Com Park. 2nd and 18. Dallas has the ball. The 49ers scored the first time they got the ball. They got down, got a field goal.
You know, I think sometimes you look at this league right now and you say, who's the best team in the NFL? And you say, no one.
It's pretty close. Bjornson. Back to the original line of scrimmage. Midfield stopped by Lee Woodall. Next Sunday on Fox, the Redskins and the Eagles will be there in Philadelphia. Bears, Chiefs, Panthers, Rams, Saints, Falcons.
And that Ty Detmer there last week, we saw him against the Dallas Cowboys. He played a great game. You know, the way Steve Young looks right now, I would, you know, again, not know, but I don't think he's going to be in on the next series, and I would say he has a concussion.
Slight concussion is the word I just got, John.
I don't know why they put slight in front of it all the time, but it's a concussion's a concussion.
Probably he won't be back. Aikman. Irvin. First down. Marquez Pope, the cover man. Grbac has taken off the baseball hat, put on the helmet.
And here's Michael Irvin out there, and you can see that there's a little confusion there because they're looking back, they're talking, they're not ready when the ball was snapped. Marquez Pope is off, he gets turned around, and Troy Aikman puts the ball in a perfect location for Michael Irvin.
They move inside the 49er 40-yard line. First down, Cowboys at the San Francisco 39. 10-0, 49ers. Emmitt Smith. Run. Smith around the corner. Run out of bounds by Tim McDonald at the 25. Another first down, Dallas.
Well, they finally got away from those defensive tackles. They got them blocked inside. Emmitt Smith started inside and then bounced outside. Now, when you go inside, you have to look out for those two tackles that we talked about. You have to look out for these guys. Then when you bounce to the outside, then you have to look out for McDonald. You see right here, now when you bounce outside here, you get that inside blocked. You got all those guys blocked. Now you better look out for number 46, Tim McDonald. And that's exactly what Emmitt Smith did. And when he saw him, he ran out of bounds.
Larry Allen got a heck of a block. Aikman back to throw. Aikman gets it to Michael Irvin. Irvin inside the 10 to the 8. Well,
now they're starting to get the thing. I mean, now they're doing what the Cowboys offense can do. They're getting some running game going with Emmitt Smith, and they're throwing the ball to their playmaker, Michael Irvin. That time, he was matched up against Gary Plummer, a linebacker with a bad leg.
2 minutes left in the first half. From the 8 for the Cowboys. Pat Summerall with John Madden. Dallas, this drive, 64 yards, 55 of it by Irvin and Smith. Aikman said, I have to be patient. And he's been just that.
Well, he's 5 for 5 on this drive.
Aikman. Chase inside the 10 to the 3 to the 4 maybe. They mark it down at the 4. Merton Hanks tripped him up.
I tell you, the guy that I think kind of caught him from behind was Chris Dolman. Chris Dolman was rushing from the backside, and I don't know if you're going to see. Here's Chris Dolman right here coming in. Now, does Troy Aikman dive head first, or is he tripped or knocked right there? Does he get a foot and then make him go head first?
I think he does.
That's what I think happened. I think Chris Dolman just got a foot of Troy Aikman and made him go in that direction.
He got 4 yards. 2nd and goal at the 4. Time for Emmitt Smith behind Larry Allen. And Emmitt Smith stopped to pick his way, and things closed up pretty quick.
Remember, this is the area last week that gave him trouble at the end of the game against the Philadelphia Eagles. They got in there on 1st down, and they ran Emmitt Smith, and he didn't get anything. They ran him on 2nd down. He didn't get anything. And on 3rd down, they threw an interception.
They ran him on 2nd down, and they got a yard in this situation.
So now this is a passing situation, but at least their goal line offense isn't in there now. They have their wide receivers. They have Michael Irvin up on top, Deion Sanders down here in the bottom.
And no ball carrier now. Aikman, quarterback draw, dives, touchdown.
That has to be a new play. In all the years I've seen Troy Aikman and the Dallas Cowboys and Ernie Zampese, I've never seen him run a quarterback draw.
You remember last week, the Eagles did it to them.
That's right. Here's they split it out. Now watch, when the back goes in motion, there's only one guy in the backfield. Now when he leaves, there's no one to carry the ball. So the linebacker leaves with him. And look at that big hole. All they have to do is get a block here, and there's going to be a hole. They really didn't get that good a block.
He came very close to slipping down before he ever got started.
I know. They had 2 guys on Brian Young and didn't block him, but Troy Aikman made a heck of an effort.
And the Cowboys are back in the middle of this contest. It's 10-7 San Francisco. Cowboys took 11 plays, went 72 yards. Aikman scored the touchdown from 3 yards out. Boniol's kickoff will be handled by Dexter Carter at about the 7. Flag on the play. A penalty marker down. Billy Davis, Randall Godfrey down to make the stop on the kickoff. 10-7 San Francisco, a flag on the play.
Holding during the return, number 86, 10-yard penalty, 1st down.
Holding against the 49ers.
That was a takedown
by Manuel.
Sean Manuel.
10-7, the 49ers lead it. The 49ers leading the Cowboys by 3. Elvis Grbac is the 49er quarterback. Steve Young, concussion, went to the locker room early. Kirby, the ball carrier, slung to the ground by Chad Hennings.
Yeah, we talk about the defensive tackles and the things that you have to do. If you don't get those defensive tackles blocked, if they get penetration, you don't have any chance at all to run the ball.
2nd and 13. That was a Dallas timeout, so they have 2 left. The 49ers have all of theirs. Kirby. Flag on the play. Kirby got about 5.
You know, Terrell Owens and Deion Sanders have been having a little battle out here and been punching and pushing and grabbing each other on every play. I don't know if that's a penalty they called or not, but they've been going after. I mean, they're just running and running away from them, and the 2 of them are out here playing a little game.
Unnecessary roughness. Face mask. Defense number 21, 15 yards, 1st down.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. As you see, it's right down here, and it's Terrell Owens and Deion Sanders, and they've been doing this every play. That's just a leftover from the last play, and you saw Deion Sanders just grabbed his face mask and pulled him.
And Owens grabbed Sanders' face mask and pulled him too.
And they were doing that to play before too, and you know, the play went away, and the 2 of them were just having some little thing going out here. Owens being a rookie, you know, showing he's not going to be intimidated, and Deion Sanders jamming him.
Grbac on 1st down gets it outside to William Floyd, who doesn't get much.
Deion Sanders is now putting his hands out like, I didn't touch him, I didn't do anything. Deion Sanders sneaked up and just jammed Terrell Owens right on the line of scrimmage. So I'm going to show this rookie.
That's a bad call against him.
The 49ers were ready, and that's the way they played the first quarter. Look at this. They had 139 yards in the first quarter. The Cowboys had none. Then you go to the second quarter, and it was just reversed. Now the Cowboys had 110 yards. The 49ers only had 3 and lost their starting quarterback. So far, it's been a story of 2 quarters. Even at time of possession, look, Cowboys only 3 minutes, 11 minutes for San Francisco in the first quarter, and then that was reversed in the second quarter. So as this game breaks down, it's 10-7, but the 49ers came out fired up. They were ready to go. They won the first quarter. The Cowboys finally got things under control, and they won the second quarter.
Herschel Walker back deep for the second half kickoff from Wilkins. Walker will handle it.